Music legend Gregg Allman has died. He was 69. When it came to the Allman Brothers band, he played on everything. They were the quintessential Southern rock band, even though Gregg really disliked that tag. His management confirmed his death today, saying Allman passed away peacefully at his home in Savannah, Georgia. Gregg struggled with health issues over the past several years. During that time, Gregg considered being on the road playing music with his brothers and solo band for his beloved fans, essential medicine for his soul. Playing music lifted him up and kept him going during the toughest of times. He was born Gregory LeNoir Allman on December 8, 1947 in Nashville, Tennessee, and he was always the main vocalist and composer of the Allman Brothers band. For a lot of years, the group had that Three Musketeers motto, all for one and one for all. They lived together, played, traveled together, partied together, which if you're starting a band makes it a little easier. We were talking 1969 here. They were starving, malnourished, and looking for an audience. And of course they stayed up all night. When they weren't playing, they were partying. Duane Allman's vision of the band was to have a different group with 2 lead guitarists and 2 drummers. They even toyed with calling themselves Beelzebub. Those 2 first Allman Brothers band LPs, the self-titled debut from '69 and 1970's Idlewild South, were not really big hits at first. Even though they had classic tunes on both, the first had Whipping Post, which Rolling Stone magazine called an enduring anthem, rife with tormented blues ballad imagery. It also contained Muddy Waters' classic Trouble No More. Idlewild South had Midnight Rider, which Gregg Allman called the song I'm most proud of in my career. It also featured a future concert mainstay in the memory of Elizabeth Reed, a jazz-flavored groovy instrumental. The architects of Southern rock, however, found their footing on their 3rd album. Gregg Allman one day had a light bulb moment where he realized that even if they didn't have hits, even if their albums didn't sell as well as they wanted to, they'd always make a living on the road. That audience was growing all the time, and he thought, maybe it's time for a live album. In July 1971, they released At Fillmore East. It's considered one of the best live albums of all time. It peaked at number 13, their highest at that point, and everything they had was on that album. And as they say in rock and roll, everything changed after that. With increased popularity came the usual rock and roll carnage, drugs, and booze. Duane Allman and bassist Barry Oakley, and even a few of the roadies went into rehab. The band's biggest blow came on October 29, 1971. At the age of only 24, Duane Allman was killed in a motorcycle accident. On deciding the future of the band, Trucks once said, "We all had this thing in us, and Duane put it there. He was the teacher, and he gave something to us, his disciples, and we had to play out." The next album, Eat a Peach, did feature Duane Allman prominently, and it reached number 5 on the charts. On the LP, a gorgeous tune, Melissa, that was originally thought to be too soft for the group. Gregg wrote it before he was in the band in 1967 and later played it at Duane's funeral. Things got worse. Bassist Barry Oakley was killed in another motorcycle accident just a few blocks from where Duane had died. They are buried side by side. Interestingly, they called the next album Brothers and Sisters, which is weird because they were not getting along. There was drugs in the way and a lot of arguments. The album did feature Ramblin' Man, their only top 10 hit. And by the way, this album was their only number 1. From 1999 to 2014, Truck's nephew, Derek, joined the group as a guitarist. They broke up and reformed 3 times. They eventually retired in 2014. Melissa Etheridge said today, "My southern rock heart is breaking." Brad Paisley tweeted, "What a legacy Gregg Allman leaves behind. Jam on in the great hereafter." And Keith Urban tweeted, "My heart breaks today at the passing of his soul brother, Gregg Allman. Blessings and peace to all the Allman family." And Ringo Starr's message, "Rest in peace, Gregg Allman. Peace and love to all the family." Just last January, Allman Brothers' longtime drummer Butch Trucks died from suicide. He was also 69, and at that time, Gregg said, "I'm heartbroken. I've lost another brother, and it hurts beyond words. Butch and I knew each other since we were teenagers, and we were bandmates for 45 years. He was a great man and a great drummer, and I'm going to miss him forever. Rest in peace, Brother Butch." In the 1970s, as a teenager, my tastes were not sophisticated, or I wasn't curious enough to discover the Allman Brothers band. Long before the tabloids were what they are today, Gregg, of course, had married Cher in 1975. They are long divorced. I'm John Bowden. Make sure you comment on our videos and subscribe to our channel and share our videos. This is Rock History Music.